You've been conditioned to see safety as suspicious and suffering as romantic. Suffering is not love. Struggle isn't love. Confusion is not love. You keep sabotaging the good ones because they mirror back the one truth you don't want to face. You don't think you deserve it. Healing isn't just about letting go of the past. It's about making space for the love you claim you're ready for, to sit with peace. You got to stop chasing the fire and learn to fall in love with the warmth. So how do you do that? Hey, welcome back, Project 24. Let's get to our highest potential and really live the greatest life experience, right? So before we get into it, let me say this up front. I'm not a therapist, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a psychiatrist, or any kind of licensed medical professional. What I share on this podcast comes from real experiences, mine and the people I've watched love the wrong way for far too long. This is not therapy. This is not medical advice. This is real talk. But if you need professional help, feel free to reach out. Got a plethora of resources and references, and I support that fully. But if you're here to take a hard look at the way you love and the way you let yourself be loved, then let's talk. And let's talk about how you say you want peace, but you keep chasing storms. How you claim you want green flags, but you keep throwing yourself at every red one that walks by. And how maybe, just maybe, it's not that love doesn't exist. It's that you don't trust yourself to receive it. So, you ever sit across from someone who's kind, consistent, communicates, and instead of feeling seen, you feel suspicious? That's not intuition. That's your trauma flinching. You see, red flags didn't always look red to you. They look like home, like your childhood, like the emotional roller coaster you got addicted to. You glamorized struggle love. You thought passion had to feel like pain. So now when someone shows up and gives you peace, you think it's too good to be true. You confuse chaos with chemistry. You don't fall in love, you trauma bond. And you don't feel butterflies, you feel anxiety and call it attraction. I mean, let's just call it what it is. You've never learned how to feel safe in love, only how to survive in it. And now when someone shows up healthy, you ghost them. You second guess them. You sabotage it because deep down, part of you still believes love has to hurt to be real. And let's talk about that tension in your chest. You meet someone calm, right? They're present, they're consistent, and it makes you nervous. It does. You're not turned off, you're emotionally confused. You ask yourself, why are they being so nice? What's their angle? I don't trust this. That's not your intuition. That's your nervous system rejecting peace because you know what? It's not used to it. You trained your body to equate love with unpredictability. So when love is still, safe, soft, it feels like withdrawal. Your trauma told you love is earned. So when someone just gives it to you without a chase, without the chaos, you don't know how to receive it. And that's why so many people confuse butterflies with anxiety. You're not excited, you're triggered. It's not chemistry, it's a flashback in disguise. And if love feels like a test every day, it's not love. It's a wound that hasn't been closed. You don't need another high. You need to rewire what love feels like so your body stops mistaking peace for danger. And let's call out what you've been ignoring. You say you want love, but you ghost the ones who give it to you. So let's talk about green flags. Number one, they text back without delay. You think they're too available. You're used to being left on red and calling that normal. They communicate clearly. You think they're being too intense or too emotional. You're used to decoding mixed signals and being punished for asking questions. And number three, they're consistent. You call it boring. You're used to almost relationships and hot and cold energy that keeps you guessing. Green flags don't perform for attention. They don't blow up your phone. They don't beg for love. They show up softly, solidly. But here's the problem. If your self-worth is low, man, you'll see green flags and think, this can't be real. They're not challenging enough. I need something deeper. You don't need deeper. You need healing. You're not scared of love. You're scared of not having it to chase it. Does it make sense? And let's be honest. You've ghosted people who were good for you, not because they were wrong, but because they didn't trigger your trauma. You're addicted to inconsistency, to drama, to proving your worth. So when someone doesn't require that struggle, you start looking for flaws. You pick them apart. You run. And here's the kicker. You say you want love, but when someone actually offers you healthy love, you don't trust it because they didn't make you bleed for it. You weren't ghosting them. You were ghosting the part of yourself that doesn't feel ready to be loved that way. You've been conditioned to see safety as suspicious and suffering as romantic. But I'm going to tell you this. Suffering is not love. Struggle isn't love. Confusion is not love. You keep sabotaging the good ones because they mirror back the one truth you don't want to face. You don't think you deserve it, but I'm here to tell you, you do. You just have to stop picking chaos because it's familiar. Healing isn't just about letting go of the past. It's about making space for the love you claim you're ready for. You want healthy love? You got to get comfortable being bored with chaos. You got to retrain your nervous system to sit with peace. You got to stop chasing the fire and learn to fall in love with the warmth. So how do you do that, right? Well, you got to regulate your nervous system, meditation, breath work, journaling, get your ass grounded. You have to slow down your responses. Just because you feel anxiety doesn't mean something's wrong. You talk to yourself like someone who deserves stability. That's how you do it, self-talk, because you do deserve stability. And you ask the hard questions. Am I uncomfortable because this is wrong or just because it's unfamiliar? And that's where the shift happens. Love doesn't always feel like fireworks. Real love often feels like safety, like breathing, like finally not having to perform. And when you're healthy, green flags won't scare the fuck out of you. They'll feel like home. Some of you don't need a new partner. You need some new standards. You were raised on stick it out, be loyal no matter what, ride or die. But nobody told you that love isn't about surviving. It's about thriving. And you don't have to prove your love by hurting in silence. That's not strength. That's trauma with makeup on, okay? If your type keeps you anxious, unsure, never emotionally safe, then it's time to admit your type is actually your trauma looking for comfort in familiar pain. Redefine what love means. Love is ease. It's clarity. Love is emotional safety, not emotional labor. And high standards don't scare the right person. They attract them. Trust me on this one. And guess what? You don't have to lower your standards just to avoid being alone. You need to raise them to match the version of you that's healing. Because real love doesn't require you to be perfect, just ready. And here's what real love actually feels like. It feels like exhaling. It feels like knowing. It feels like clarity. You don't go to bed wondering where you stand. You don't wake up anxious about being enough. And you're not decoding text or walking on fucking eggshells. I could tell you that much. And you're seen, you're safe, you're solid. Real love isn't about fixing or chasing. It's about being. It's about showing up without fear that who you are isn't enough. But the catch, you won't feel this kind of love until you stop craving the one that hurts. When you stop trying to prove your worth, when you stop tolerating chaos just to feel wanted, when you finally say, I'm done chasing, that's when love starts chasing you. Because the minute you believe you deserve peace, that's exactly what starts showing up. So here's the truth. Green flags don't chase. They don't beg. They don't fight to be seen. They just leave quietly and go love someone who's ready. So if you're still ghosting good people, still addicted to chaos, still entertaining clowns in a circus, still mistaking adrenaline for connection, it's not that love isn't out there. It's that you haven't stopped running from it yet. And I'm telling you, this is your reminder. Peace is not boring. Consistency is not weak. And real love doesn't confuse you. It calms your soul. You're not meant to repeat your trauma. You're meant to break it. Everybody, thanks. Share this with someone who may need it. Stay blessed, never stressed. And we'll see y'all in the next video.